Hello, welcome. If you're watching the replay, please make sure to do all the things like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever. Thank you for joining us. We are going to do our collective reading today. So we're just going to wait for a couple minutes for people to start to file in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So if you are watching the replay and you want to speed it up through the first few minutes, then please feel free to do so. If Mercury will stop me stumbling on my words. Hi, Holly. How are you, love? Good to see you. It's going good. It's been a wild ride. Mercury retrograde has been retrograding. So fun stuff. Got my car running though. I think I told you that though. But yeah, got my car running again, which is always a plus. Now it's just has to relearn its fuel to air ratio with the new sensors and everything. Hello, Matt. Nice to see you. You handsome soul. Hi, or I don't know why I'm high hollying you. I was trying to read your comment. Just existing. That's good. Sometimes it's good to just exist. Yes, I love it. So yeah. Just I got to drive my car around a little bit so it can relearn, and then probably also have my other friend take a look at it because he should be in town by this time. He went on vacation. So Mikey was busy, but he helped me as much as he could to like figure stuff out and lend me some tools, but I did all the work myself. Hello, Anna. Nice to see your gorgeous face, darling. How's everyone else's retrograde going? Because the car thing isn't the only thing for me. So like y'all know I don't have any like exes that could come back around because I torched those bridges a long time ago. But penis creatures, ladies, I know you know what I mean. Okay. There have been so many, like, it's utterly ridiculous in my inbox, like, bothering me, like, to the point where, like, you ignore them, like, they're going to get the hint, but then they just keep bombarding. And it's really like I've had to throw up some hard boundaries and, say a thing or two. And mostly it's the men, but there's been like so many people in my inbox lately, you guys. So I've just been I've had a lot on my plate, so I've just not gotten around to a lot of those messages. So bear with me, you guys. I'm doing my best. Hello, Matt. Matt did drop his comment over on YouTube, but now he is joining everyone on Facebook too. Just block and forget. Girl. Yeah. Well, it's kind of difficult sometimes with that because of other connections, or that I've just known these people for like a really long time. And I want the best for them. I wish the best for them, but I'm not your workhorse. I'm not going to do your shadow work for you. I'm not going to, go through all of your shit for you or hold your hand through it. You know what I mean? Like these are people that have followed my work for a long, long time. And so it gets to the point, especially during Mercury retrogrades. And I know this has been one of my lessons because I want to help everyone on a one-on-one type of basis. But it's too overwhelming for me to do that for so many people. You guys know this. So I've just been trying to handle my own stuff and try to throw a little bit of guidance or wisdom their way if I see that they're receptive to it. Because usually I'll do it even if they're not receptive and it's just planting seeds, but I'm not the seed bearer all the time. So thought you were talking about random people. Oh no, not randoms, Anna. Definitely not. But if someone's been following me for long enough and knows the work that I do and knows what I teach, like I'm all about self-empowerment. I want to empower you guys to be able to do the work that is necessary, because I can't do everyone's work for them, and I wouldn't want to. Um, because it's all about the journey, and it's all about, the struggle sometimes, and it is hard, and you want someone in the trenches with you, but I can't be everyone's closest bestest friend to like hold their hand through everything. So it's been a bit overwhelming for me, especially with the autism, because whenever I feel so bombarded or pulled in so many different directions, like my brain will just shut down. Hi Jakar, nice to see you. Yes, the parasites and this, yes, the sexual energy is a big thing. Um, like point that at someone else, not over here, because I'm totally not interested. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good being on my own. I don't have the desire to couple up. At least not at this point. And I've told a couple of close friends, like, I'll never say never, but it's just not my thing right now. Not something that, piques my interest. So for that reason, especially if someone's already coupled up with another person, that's been happening to me too. Like, get away from me. Leave me alone with that shit. Hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you, love. Thank you for joining us. This is why I've been taking a minute away, been feeling collective energy and transmuting it. It happens to me every Mercury. Yeah, and it gets overwhelming, especially for us neurodivergents, So I don't want to make anyone feel like they don't matter or anything like that, because that's not at all the case. It's just like I have to put on my own oxygen mask first, and I can't be everything for everyone always, even though I am very available to people that need it, that can, do the work themselves as well. I can't do it for everyone, and I can't keep regurgitating the same teachings that I teach every week one-on-one, just so maybe one of these times I tell these people that maybe they'll get it. So it's been very overwhelming, but I'm still here. Hi, Lori. I'm so glad that you saw us. I don't know why it's Facebook doesn't do, they don't keep up their end of the bargain most of the time. So that's to be expected. But yeah, so I'm here, you guys. I'm here every week. I want to, help you guys out. I want to bring you guys the wisdom, the empowerment, and the encouragement. But I can't do it for you, So, hey, Steph. So please absorb everything that you can possibly absorb from our interactions together. But I'm not available, for one-on-one constantly. And if you do feel that you need a one-on-one, please book a session. That energy exchange is important. I can't just give myself away for free all the time. And I know that some people can't really, afford it with their financial situations. And in those cases, I am willing to, go a little deeper for you, but I just cannot produce, I'm not a I'm not a performing monkey. So it's good whenever I see the desire in someone to do it themselves, and maybe, hey, reach out and ask for some pointers, or like, I'm open to that. But where I want to go, and this has kind of come up for me over this retrograde too, is I want to, like, from the beginning, I've wanted to build this beautiful, supportive community to where we could all support one another, and we can all share ideas. And if one of us is in need of help, you can even post to the group as, I want to say incognito, but that's not the word. um, privately, I don't know, you can, if you want to post in the group, if you're part of the group. If you're not, please join. But you can post anonymously. That's what I meant. So you can post anonymously if you're having an issue and you don't want people to know who's asking the question. You can always post it there still anonymously. And we are such a loving and supportive group that, thank you, Patrine. I was a little late to that party. But I don't want anyone to go without the support that they need, but I just can't be it for every single person. And one of the things that has been brought to my attention is I don't do anything really with the group that I've created, that we've all, kind of co-created here. And I want to put more into that. So I'll be posting more things to the group, more discussions and things that go along with themes of what came up for the readings, like during the lives, the podcast. So to make it feel more welcoming and more supportive, so people will, feel that they can reach out in that way. So that's the plan. I love you, Susan. Thank you for being here, gorgeous. Um, so yeah, that's the plan moving forward. I'm going to try to put more effort into the group. There are more things coming with the lives and stuff that, I'll release that information in probably a week or two. So we're going to get things kind of going again. But not sure about a couple of different things, scheduling and so forth. So I will be kind of tying up those loose ends. Hey, Suzanne, I love you. So yes, we will be more active in the group. We will have more active members to help support and encourage. So yeah, we're getting there. There's been a lot of setbacks over the past few years, a lot of changes and things. So yeah, I'm kind of honing in on the direction I want to go and going to be doing more with you guys. So I apologize for my stepping back for so long to kind of get my bearings. I had a lot going on with my daughter and with my kids, and with just everything on top of the community and everything like that. So I'm going to be putting forth more effort for the collective of us. Not so much because it's just not sustainable for individuals unless, you want to book time with me. So that's perfectly acceptable. If you feel you need the extra, then go ahead and book with me. And if you can't afford it, please reach out, make me aware of your needs, and I will do my best to make sure that we form a supportive, encouraging bubble around you. So thanks, Steph. I know you already know me. Yeah, I know. I need to stop apologizing for lifing, but also I feel a sense of responsibility because this is something I've created. This is something that I still want to do very much. But I just have not had the bandwidth for as much as I want to do. So I'm going to be taking smaller steps, okay? Small steps in that direction to kind of build on what we've all built so far. So I'm going to be bringing in some like experts, like the group on Facebook, they have group experts. That's why I did that. So we'll have people that are able to contribute what they can when they can. So we're going to get it going. Okay. We're going to get it more hands-on, more supportive, but I got to pace myself. Yes, thank you, Suzanne. I love you. You're so sweet. Needing a good running small motor home. Seriously thinking at this point, girls and I should become nomads. Hey, girl, that's a good idea, and, finding some kind of like distance, like online work or something like that would really help to kind of, set you guys up for that too. So, and you're not the only one. I've talked to a couple of people lately that have had a similar idea to you. So that's not out of the cards, babe. All right. So we're using this retrograde period to build on what we've already created or to even shift and switch directions, right? So this is a good thing. Mercury retrogrades are a pain in the ass, we'll be honest there, but they are so very valuable, and I want everybody to remember that and not just think, oh gods, Mercury retrograde's coming, or any kind of retrograde, but Mercury does it more frequently. So that's why it's always kind of in the spotlight. Poor Mercury. He's got a bad rep, but that's okay. Very, very helpful tool. And this reading is going to go over some of that. I was halfway paying attention while I was pulling. So, yeah, it'll be informative, I'm sure. Wheel of Fortune card that talks about the exhale. We can't physically exhale or inhale until we exhale. Normalize exhaling. Imagine apologizing for breathing instead of just out. Yeah, one day I'm practicing that too. Same girl. Thank you, Patrine. That's beautiful. And it's so true. And I tell people that all the time. But sometimes I've still got that do as I say, not as I do thing. So I'm always like, chill, take a step back, go rest, kick up your feet. And I do, but my mind is always going because I've also got the ADHD portion because I'm ADHD. So I'm autistic and ADHD. I have traits of both and they blend differently. And for different situations. So I have to constantly be on my own ass about that too. And Steph helps me keep me in line. But I'm also kind of stubborn sometimes, and I'm like, one more thing on my huge overloaded plate isn't gonna break me. So come on, let's just do a little bit more heavy lifting. So I'm learning still. I tell you guys that all the time. I am definitely not perfect, and I do still sometimes tell people, to do things differently than I would probably do them just because I'm a workhorse. I've always my whole life taken on more than I probably should, but I'm still learning. I'm still pacing. I'm still trying to do it. But I do, get reality checks sometimes. And that's when like the overwhelm from so many energies drawing off me at the same time, I shut down. My brain can't go further. You know what I mean? So that all being said, I know I've taken up, over 15 minutes explaining all of this, but it was a good precursor to what's going to come through in the reading. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right. Speaking of which, silent retreat. It's time to take a step back, sit in silence, sit in that balance. If you're feeling stressed, you cannot make a balanced decision because you have that stressy energy, and it's just like that hyper focused forward moving energy, that tunnel vision that we speak of. If you are feeling under pressure, you cannot make a balanced decision. You're not going to see everything as clearly as you would if you were in that more balanced state. So retrograde had me ready for pitchforks and lanterns. I feel that, Matt. Passing on that, Annie's MRI results are still showing those tumors have vanished. Yay, Susan! Yay, Annie! That's so amazing. I love that. Congratulations. And Steph, so right. I'm glad you said that. Don't forget the spaces between the inhales and the exhales. That's where the magic is. The void, right? That's the void of creation. There's space between. I mean, makes sense, but on the life level, I didn't even consider that. Yeah, a lot of people don't, and it takes really sitting in that silence and really observing to absorb things like that sometimes, because in our programming as human beings, as the slave race, we're taught you always have to keep pushing through. You always have to keep going, keep that momentum forward. And if you pause or if you stop to observe your surroundings, then you're lazy or incapable. And that's absolutely false. So thank you, Steph, for saying that, because see, you brought it to someone else's realization too. He's so good about that, you guys. He's really good about that. So, silent retreat, go within, take a break, take a step back. Like, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed or under more pressure than usual, because retrogrades will bring up shit from your past, right? So, just sit with it. You don't have to make a decision every second. You don't have to constantly be making things happen. It's okay to say, you know what? I don't have the bandwidth for this right now. I need to take a step back. I need to take a breather. I need to reassess for myself, and I need to observe what's actually going on so that I can see the trend in energy. And, you can either intervene on that and take that energy and harness it in a different direction, right? Or you can say, okay, I see how things are going here. Let's go ahead and give this some extra attention so we can really get things moving, pick up more momentum in that direction because I like where this is going. So, take that step back, take that mental break when you need to, because especially during retrograde season, it's, the pressure builds, and we don't want to, kind of break ourselves. We don't want to, fall with some kind of illness or anything like that that's going to make us take that step back because we just can't push on, because sometimes our bodies will make us sit still, right, Holly? um, and I love you, Holly. I love you so much. But yeah, you need to just practice on existing, right? You just need to be comfortable with merely existing. And that happens to all of us at many different points in our lives. So don't take it as like punishment. The universe is not punishing you. The universe is always working in your favor, but it's us who puts those judgments on things because of the past, because that I'm not good enough type of energy that a lot of us did, have piled on top of us from an early age. So, yeah, don't overextend yourself for sure. How do you observe what's observing you? You become aware of it. First you become aware of it, and you can observe one another, right? That's how we learn. We best learn when we are in that observation mode, in that energy of observation. So, oh, okay, bottom of the deck, Urun, joy and light. You got to take that step back. You have to, sit back, reassess, observe, and find the light, find your joy. Because, if we didn't have things like Mercury retrograde, right? We might just keep pushing on and we might not notice the patterns that we've established in our own lives, or that others, because Mercury retrograde is very much a thing about others as well, because of communication being what Mercury rules over. So our interactions or our patterns with others, or the patterns that they're playing out for us in our lives, does that pattern of their behavior in my life really enhance my experience, or does it take away from my experience? Is this helping me or is this hindering me? Do I need to cut this energy out of my life, so that I can welcome in a new energy? And it's the energies, especially with the males, like I told you guys from the beginning, like coming up in my inbox and stuff. um they uncannily remind me of my own father's energy, and he did die just over a year ago. But he was in and out of my life briefly, in mostly out of my life. And he was an addict and an alcoholic, and like he had a really great personality when he wasn't so under the influence of substances or certain people and things like that, right? He had this energy about him. So I can see the good in his energy. I can see the good things about him, but I can also see, his downfalls, his pitfalls, and the patterns that he established. And those run congruently in these people that have been coming back around to me. So yes, my father might be gone off this planet right now. But his energy is still very much around, and I've been having to sort through that, like, these are the negative things about my father and these are the positive things about him. But because of his negative patterns and not being there and not being active in my life, it helped me to become more self-sufficient, or it helped me to learn certain things that maybe I wouldn't have learned had I had him there as an active role in my life. So that's my way of balancing out that shadow work, that what a lot of people perceive as being negative. I feel like I benefited from not having that that father in my life. Yes, it was to my detriment at times. Yes, it made things difficult in certain ways, but because of the difficulty that I encountered by not having that, I also, really excelled at things personally where maybe I wouldn't have before, like had I had him as a healthy, active parental guide. You know what I mean? So sifting and sorting through those kinds of patterns, and do I want other people with the same kind of negative patterns coming into my life and having to like parent them like I had to parent my own father? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And these, when you tell someone 10, 20, 30 times the same kind of thing, the same guidance, or this, trying to help them to see patterns for themselves, and they don't listen, it's like, I'm not wasting my breath anymore. You know what I mean? And I had to come to that point in my life with my own father at a certain point. So this is practice that I gained for these other situations. Um, so recognizing them and doing shadow work on each individual that's coming, like, what are you bringing? What are you bringing in my direction? And what do I need to sift through here so that I can let that go, so that I no longer, invite that energy back? Because let's be honest, my dad really, even though he had some good qualities about him and he was funny and he had a great sense of humor and stuff, not my flavor, not my cup of tea. So I'd rather not, you know what I mean? And that's okay. We are sifting and sorting through our own preferences, even, and the types of people that we want to invite into our lives. So, um, keep that in mind as you're moving forward. Find the light, find the joy, find the positivity, even in the negative experience, just like the yin and the yang. They have the little dots in each one where there's the darkness and the light and the lightness and the dark. So find that lightness in the dark. And also, whenever things are going well, not saying like look for the thing that's going wrong, but look at maybe where your shadow aspects might have played a role in bringing more of that light aspect into your life, so that you can appreciate even the shadow aspects, because they're all you, they're all part of you, and there's no way to escape them, and not in this plane anyway. So, you know bringing awareness and gratitude to even the darker experiences, or the more shadowy aspects, bringing your appreciation to them for the extra light that they've brought into your life is really important right now. So, just use this time of review to really be able to show gratitude to your shadow experiences. Um, Okay, that's a really long comment. I wanted to read it, Matt, but I know it's not addressed to me, so I'm going to go ahead and keep, or else I'll just be on here for like hours today. Anywho, so, um, okay, we're going to go here. Bottom of the deck, Six of Wands is in the reverse. So you may have things brought to your awareness at this time, the past few weeks, moving on. I'm going to say to the end of March, early April, because the post shadow is going to also be in effect. We are, I think, yeah, I think 20th is when Mercury went direct, but we're still dealing with post shadow energies. So we're wrapping it up, but it's still not completely out. So this is, really good guidance to bring awareness to the post shadow phase. It is on its way out. It is not as impactful. It's not going to be as potent, but it's still going to be around. It's that residual energy, right? Um, Beautiful, Matt. I love it. So yes, technically we are dealing with Mercury direct, but the post shadow period is here. And that's when we're going to kind of review the lesson reviews. We're going to kind of sift and sort, what should we keep? What should we remove? So as you're undergoing this process, it's personal to everyone. It's going to be very individual to you, just like it will be individual to the next person, and so on. So Whatever may have, from your perspective, may have gone awry, not gone in the way that you wanted it to. Maybe you got some kind of news or some kind of awareness that isn't really making you feel very victorious right now. You know, Six of Wands in the reverse, it's like the wind taken out of your sails, right? Um, it's still going to bring you to the upright version of that, but we have to sort through even the perceived negative things, because in these shadow aspects or these negative aspects, there is tremendous wisdom. There is a lot of experience, and wisdom gained through experience, in my honest opinion, is much better than wisdom just kind of handed down, because it sticks, because, you know, it really stands out in our memory. And when you have that personal experience with it, it stays with you and it cements it in a way where, you know, you can understand it. Whereas if this is just wisdom that's kind of handed to you from another person, like, you can make sense of it, but you don't really fully resonate with it at a very deep level. So even if it's like, oh, that was the shittiest of experiences, but now I've had the experience, I've gained the wisdom, and I can resonate deeply with the wisdom. Now I don't have to go back to learning that lesson again, hopefully, because some of us do choose to go back through, right? And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. It's not a race. So, you know, hopefully, if there is a next time around with that same energy, if you do end up tangoing with energy again in the future, you will have that awareness, you will have that wisdom, and then you'll be able to pivot and make different choices, or steer that energy into a better direction for you. Okay, grab onto that momentum and harness it, and, you know, put it in the direction that you want it to. So even where something didn't turn out the way you wanted, or, you know, you've had memories or realizations or something like that that have really caused you to kind of go into that shadow energy for a little bit, it's a good thing, because let me see this card. It's not time for it yet, but I'll bring it up anyway, because you are led and guided even through the darkest of situations, right? There are endings and death all around, but you're protected. You have that divine connection. You have the wisdom. You have the knowledge. You have the tools to navigate. Do you want to? No. That's a tough, arduous journey. Nobody's going to sign up for that, but you're on it, right? And you're in it, and you've got all of the support, all of the infrastructure to get yourself through it, but you got to do the work. Okay. There's no way around it. And once you come out on the other side, you can be more proud of where you came from, more proud of what you have come through, and, you know, more wise and knowledgeable than you were before. So you can spread that to others. You can help to be the guide for others as they walk their own path as well. But the fact that they're walking it themselves is very important. You cannot walk it for them. I cannot walk it for them. Okay. So, yes, things may be coming back up, back around. Six of Cups is showing up in the reverse. Traumas, painful memories, painful realizations, because, you know, I still have at times painful realizations of like, oh, because I'm one of those people that goes so hard for another. I want to see you succeed. I want to support you in whatever ways that I can. You know, I want to encourage you. I want to be your cheerleader, but I don't want to be with you. You know what I mean? Translating it from my own recent personal experience. Like, sometimes if you want to love someone up and encourage them and give them all of these great tools, just like you would anyone else, they're like, oh, so you want me. Not the case. Not the case at all, buddy. So some things might come back up around. Like, maybe I need to change and shift the way that I support and encourage, you know, so that it's not twisted into something that it's not. But not so much for me. I'm like, I can encourage anyone in that same fashion, and 80% of them won't take it that way. But there's that 20% that are gonna take it like, "Ooh, yeah, she wants me." Which is not the case for any gender, okay? Any gender expression whatsoever. So throwing that out there. But as we navigate these difficulties or these uncertainties, it's important for us to really be mindful, be observant of what we're experiencing, what kind of actions we're throwing at it, right? At the situation or the problem, at whatever it is, and reassess what we're doing. You can do that in the moment. You can change your mind at any time. That's actually a very, very big sign of intelligence, is when you can change your mind, when you can see to do something a little different for a different outcome. Because insanity, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome, right? Do not need to change anything. Thank you, Susan. I love you. Just need to be more mindful of the people that may take it in that direction. So I won't, I can put that disclaimer, like, not interested in you romantically, but you're handsome, you're beautiful, you're awesome, you can do this, you're capable, Thank you, Susan. Unhealed because they react that way because they never received pure love as a child. Yes, exactly. And I can't blame them for wanting that type of connection, wanting something, powerful, and wanting someone who's going to be pulling their own weight in a relationship, but that's not me. That's not me. Like, I can pull my own weight in any kind of relationship, but I don't want a romantic one. So thank you very much. No, thank you. But yes, that wounded masculine does confuse that kindness for attraction. And it's like, I'm going to be more mindful moving forward of really seeing, yes, I know that's a wounded masculine, and this is kind of precarious, so I need to figure out if I need to involve myself in the situation, and if I do, how am I involving myself? You know what I mean? Because people be crazy. I'm just going to tell you, people be fucking crazy. And they need to understand that they're worthy of, exactly, they are worthy, and they do need to take that on themselves, but they can't be looking for it in every single person that shows them kindness, right? I hope you'll be a shiny star in someone else's sky, but not mine. For real stuff. um, Steph, all right. So yes, unpleasant situations, energies, people, all sorts might be still kind of coming back around or kind of dwindling out of your experience right now. So these things coming to your awareness where you can make that decision and take that decisive action is going to enhance your path moving forward. So it's a temporary pit stop in in this energy to kind of sort through it and figure out, like, okay, where do I go moving forward? How can I, best use this energy in the future if I encounter this again? So it's all about lessons, turning it into a positive experience, right? Because we're not those love and light people where there is no negativity, and you just have to look at everything like, it's beautiful and it's wonderful, and stay away from the lower frequency people. No, everyone has lower frequencies within them. We're all a symphony, right? We've got the lower ones, we've got the higher ones, and it's all about how you use it. It brings that visual to mind of, you guys know, the little machines that you can like clip onto plants, and you can hear the frequencies that plant is emitting through song. It's like that. Every single one of it, we're all just plants, right? We're just complicated plants that can move around freely for the most part. So it's the same thing. You're not going to outrun your shadows. Your shadow's a part of you. Peter Pan tried. You can't outrun your shadow, and it's a part of you, and it's all about that integration and using that, whenever it serves a positive purpose for you in your life. Thank you. You're welcome, Judy. Thank you for joining us. Um, So, it's all about, it's not about making everything love and light positive. Like it's not like that. We're observing, yes, we have those shadows, yes, we have that lower frequency energy within us, but we're a fucking symphony. Hi, Kara. So your shadow's going to come out whenever it's going to serve your purpose for your highest good. Just like my anger, right? I used to be a little package of dynamite in my younger years, but I've been able to balance that quite a bit now, and I've told you guys this countless times. But I used to have kind of a rage problem, and I would throw hands if someone side-eyed, you know what I mean? So that anytime someone kind of gave me, like, looked at me the wrong way and getting angry and going on the attack, wasn't serving a positive purpose for me at all. But in a situation where maybe there's physical danger for my kids or myself or something like that, I can harness that and use it in that moment to bring safety for myself and for others. So it's not a negative thing to have that. It's a very good thing to have that, but you got to know when to use it. You have to have that wisdom and that experience on how and when to use it wisely. Not outrunning anything unless there's a margarita in front of me or a clown behind me. Oh my gosh. Girl, if I'm running, you better run too, because there's something chasing me. I don't run for fun. I don't see how anyone does, but everyone's different. Everyone likes different things. That's fine. Like batteries, we have a positive and negative charge. Be aware of both and use this to balance and energize. Yes, Steph, that was beautifully said. Oh, yes. Aries season. Embrace it. Yes, Judy. Yes. Been in the trenches, I call it, but somehow telling myself all will be well, but still feeling that shit deeply, doing the shadow work and doing my best. Matt, you're doing beautifully. You're not going to avoid these moments where you feel like you're depleted, or you feel like life's just kind of kicked you down, or we can't avoid having problems, because that's part of the quest. That's part of what makes our story great, is the ups and the downs, right? And the downs, you guys have heard me stress this many, many times. The downs really do bring more wisdom, because it sticks, because our egos, which are here to serve a positive purpose for us, they're not like, oh, death to the ego, murder the ego, nothing like that. The ego is meant to keep you safe, and it remembers past situations, past patterns, and it's like, oh, no, 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 don't do that again. And it'll make you feel that anxiety so you don't go down that path, because it's trying to keep you safe. So keeping that in check, and doing the best with every situation that you encounter, and throwing whatever energies at it that you've experienced in the past have brought solutions to the situation, is going to be helpful. And maybe you'll mess up, but you'll also learn what new energies you can combine to throw at that kind of scenario and see the outcome of that, right? We're all just learning. Battle stations for the kiddos. I love it, Jakar. Don't need to outrun the bear. I just need to be faster than the person behind me. Right? Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's all of it is beautiful, because it's all your story. It's all your path. It's all your quest, right? If we watched something like Lord of the Rings and they didn't have Smaug, or they didn't have like all of these really difficult challenges that they needed to overcome, then we wouldn't really watch it, would we? It wouldn't be very entertaining. If everything just came easy to them, it wouldn't have very much substance. And it's all about the substance that makes life so sweet, even the nitty gritty stuff, even the darkness and the difficult stuff. um Judy, you can contact me, my website right here, rebelspiritrising.com. You can contact me that way. I'm on Facebook, Rebel Spirit on Facebook, if you do have Facebook. Judy's over on YouTube, you guys. I'm talking to her over there. But also Rebel Spirit CO 444 at Gmail is my email address. So Rebel Spirit CO 444 at Gmail. Thank you, Matt. I love you. So it's during these review periods when we have a retrograde, and we've had several over the past year or so. We've had many, not just Mercury retrogrades. We've had Saturn, we've had Uranus, we've had I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. Thank you, Mercury. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Judy. So we've had a lot of opportunities to review things, both collectively and on an individual basis. So you see the things happening in the collective right now that have come up, that have, things have been brought to light during these eclipse times and during these different planetary retrogrades. It's all information, it's all fuel, it's all serving the overall purpose of creating, shifting into this higher frequency, this higher density for this plane. So we need to, yes, it sucks. Yes, we're like, I don't want to go through this. I don't want to see this happening, like G-sides happening to, entire groups of peoples, and all of the atrocities and all of the negativity. And I get it. I'm right there with you. It's horrific. I had to really step back from being so much in the know about what's been going on collectively lately because of all of this. But it's also bringing to light everything that has not been functioning for the highest good of the all this entire time, for thousands of years. So, you got to take it, it's like salt in the wound, because humanity's been wounded over millennia. People have been stepped on, taken advantage of, schmurdered and G-sided and used as pawns and all of these things. Yes, absolutely. And it's time that this is over. But it's not going to be over. It's going to continue. History repeats itself. They set it up that way because they keep so much in the dark, because they keep this shroud over the truth. But we are at this point in our human evolution where these things can no longer be hidden. Everything is coming to light. And yes, souls have, volunteered to be sacrificed in certain ways for this collective realization that shit's not working right. This isn't the way that it was meant to be. And only when we have that collective realization can we really change it. So there are so many sacrifices, so many brave souls that are enduring the most difficult things that you could ever fathom. But at the same time, they're that light in the dark. They're bringing awareness. Sorry. Y'all know I get teary when it comes to stuff like that. Problems will be there. It's how you deal with them or perceive them. I now go with the flow and am grateful in the disruption and ask myself, what is the good in this situation? And that's beautiful, Suzanne. I love that. That's absolutely everything. Anybody ready to throw hands? Boy, I have been ready. I know. We're here to plant the seeds. We're here to demonstrate the new behavior. We're not here to try to wake everyone up. We're not here to do door knocking and, change people's belief systems in one visit. We're here to embody the new earth energy and to start constructing the new earth as the old is collapsing, as the old is screaming and throwing a toddler-sized tantrum on its way out. Still trying to find calm with toddler tantrums and constant screaming. Send help. Kara, I feel for you, girl. But it's gonna get worse before it gets better. We know this. It's not that it's getting worse, though. It's just our realization of how bad it's been for so long. that now we want to do something, we want to change something. Now it's, there's this huge collective awakening that's taking place that is unprecedented in human history. So this is a good thing, even though there's so much suffering, there's so much atrocity, there's so much difficulty for all of us to endure on different levels in different areas of our lives. This place is not for the weak. Okay. This place is not for the weak. This earth plane, this is the school of hard knocks. Okay. So you're a brave fucking soul for being here, for playing the game, for enduring everything that you've endured. You are, unimaginably strong as a soul, as a being of the multiverse, okay, of source, of as a fractal of source. So you're no punk. Even though at times you may feel weak, even though at times you cannot stand what's happening in this plane because your soul isn't really used to it, because we're volunteers here from all, walks of life around the multiverse, and not all of us have been through very many earth lives. So it is so difficult. I get it. But oh, definitely the joys of being an empath, Judy, for sure. Um, so, you know, it's difficult for those of us whose souls aren't used to all of this crap. Um, but you're here, you're holding your own frequency, whatever that looks like for you. And we need that. And we need everyone to hold their authentic individual frequencies here and anchor that into this plane. That's part of your purpose for being here. And even just existing is serving that purpose. So thank you for existing. Thank you for being here. And thank you for never giving up. Thank you for taking the time to rebalance yourself before you take on the next quest. Thank you for lending your beautiful energy here. And, even though it might be abrasive to some people at some times, that doesn't mean that you don't belong. It means that you do, even more because you're able to bring that awareness to people. Abrasion it just helps everything to stick better. Like if you sand something and then you put the glue on, it holds better, right? So that abrasion isn't something that you're not supposed to do. It's not something that is going to cause harm. If anything, it's going to help things stick more. So if people find you off-putting for whatever reason, or if they project onto you these things, just think of it as you're the sandpaper and that glue is going to stick even better. So sometimes it takes tough love. Sometimes it takes being the example of, this is a lot more aligned with integrity and the overall highest good of more than just you. So you may take offense to that at first, but eventually it's going to sink in. Eventually you're going to align more to the collective good of all, right? Chose to be here because we are badasses. Exactly. The badass you are meant to be. Own your queen energy. Thank you, Judy. I love that. Doesn't make Don't make me take out the rubber band. You guys are having your own little, I love it. And Judy, I am addressing people, like a lot of our community is over on Facebook, and we have like a Facebook group over there and everything. So you may not see all the comments because Restream doesn't blend them all and add them to both sites, but I do stream to Facebook and to YouTube. So if you're wondering where all of these people are that I'm talking to, that's where they are. Okay, let me get this going because I'm only a few cards in. So the Empress is also on the bottom of the deck showing up in the reverse, but this doesn't mean, that things are not taking shape, that things are not growing. The Empress is still here. She's still, solid in her purpose, but it's just not time yet. It's not fully time for this to be birthed. You try to avoid Facebook. I feel you on that, girl. I get really overstimulated by social media and stuff. So I'll be on Facebook for like a week, like pretty consistently, and then I'll fall off for like a few weeks. But my system, I'm trying. I've always been more of a background type person, not the one in the spotlight, but I started with a couple of other people a few years ago, this podcast, and it was 6 days a week. I really had to pare it down to 1 day a week. There was just too much. Lost some co-hosts along the way, but we're here. Thank you. I love the Light Seers Tarot. It's my go-to for my collective readings. I have multiple decks though. So the Empress being here, she is, she is present. She is here. The divine feminine is here, but right now we do have more of that wounded masculine surfacing. So what does the divine feminine do? She doesn't butt heads with the wounded masculine. She lets it exist. She demonstrates her energy. She anchors her own energy, and she makes a plan. She finds out the strengths and the weaknesses of what's playing out with that. Was it? Yeah, for sure. So she is ever present, and the divine feminine is making a comeback. But all of these other people in spiritual groups, communities, on all social media outlets right now, they're like, oh yeah, the divine feminine rage, she's coming back with a vengeance. And that's wounded masculine energy. That is wounded masculine energy. The divine feminine doesn't lift a fucking finger, because she knows she is the source of all creation. So if there's a problem, she knows the solution exists within her, and all she has to do is anchor her energy and create, right? And then with her healed, balanced divine masculine energy, she will take action eventually. But she is a perfect blend of both. She is not going to just, take vengeance and fight against the wounded masculine and all that, because that's adding to the toxicity. That's just adding more fuel, more rage to that energy. She's just going to let it die down. She's going to be like, okay, you go act a fool, go right on ahead, because I've got solutions right here that I'm going to bring in after you're done self-destructing. Yes, divine feminine is the ultimate nurturer. That's absolutely right. So she is here, but she is in observation mode. Okay. She is creating solutions. She is allowing the temper tantrums to fizzle out. She's allowing them to self-destruct, right? Because she's not going to lift a finger when they can do all the work for her. Why lift a finger in rage and continue that energy going on this planet when y'all are self-destructing anyway? Your patriarchal systems are imploding. Like, why would I need to do anything? I don't need to exert any effort. I create the scaffolding for the new. So, anything that is making a big stink in your life right now, don't fight against it. Just let it fizzle out, right? Let it self-implode. Yeah, she's definitely not the King of Wands. But yeah, I love that you said that, Judy. She connects spirit and earth to create new life. That's beautiful. So whatever's coming back around, feel the feels. Okay, we've got the 5 of Cups showing up. It is in the reverse though. Okay, so feel the feels, allow that energy to move through you, but get it out, right? So I was really triggered the other day by one of these penis creatures that I mentioned earlier. Like highly triggered in a way that, because my ex, who was abusive and controlling and all of these, all the things that he's done, if I didn't act in a way that he wanted, or if I didn't respond in a way that he wanted, or whenever I did make my exit a couple of times, but I ended up doing it, finally, for good. But every time he would bombard me with look at me attention, doing either positive or negative things, saying good things to me, saying bad things to me, like, oh my gosh, I love you, I can't live without you, blah, 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 blah. Or I'm going to unalive you and BURN your house down and stuff. Like, it was just constantly, and this person in my inbox was just bombarding me. And I was feeling, like, yeah, penis creatures. um, I was feeling very overwhelmed, overstimulated, very like kind of panic mode, but I knew I wasn't physically threatened. I knew that there was no reason for that, but that feeling from the past was still within my energy. So this triggered it to rise to the surface. So what did I do? I went and I cranked on some music. What was it called, Steph? The label, the human labels escape me right now while I'm in the channel. Um, Slow step, because I really like dubstep, but it was too busy for me that day. And Steph was like, try slow step. So I did. So I cranked on some of that, no words to distract my mind or anything. And I took my shop vac and I went to town, like vacuuming my whole house, because I don't do a household vacuum cleaner. I do a shop vac because they never lose suction and because I have a bunch of little boys. So I can suck up toys that I don't want to find around the house anymore. So I did that, and operating a shop vac is physically demanding. Like you have to bend and twist and pull the damn thing behind you, and you really have to exert physical energy. So that's what I did. And yes, Suzanne, I transmuted that shit. I pushed that shit intentionally. I was like, I'm getting this energy out of my field. I'm getting this energy out of my body. And that's what I did. And I felt so much better afterwards. Yep, narcissist for sure. Make sure you keep working through them shadows. Yes. A lot of people see me in, for the last 3+ years, I've been here, been working with you guys, teaching you guys, learning from you guys as well. And you guys have seen my gifts on display. And I know I'm a very gifted person. Sometimes I'm like, it's not really that big of a deal. But whenever I talk to others who strive to become, to embody where I am with my own gifts and with my own lessons and teachings, it can look like, oh, she doesn't have to go through any difficulty or hardship or triggers or anything like that. She's healed. I'm not fully healed, just fully healed. And I work on the same things, sometimes daily, sometimes cyclically, like during retrogrades and things like that. I still have residual things that I work on, and I share it with you guys, and you know that. So, all right, Judy, thanks for being present with us today. I truly appreciate you, love. So I always want to be that example, like to certain people, someone like me, oh, she doesn't have any problems, or she must have been, she worked through all of her shit, or, whatever their assumption might be, but that's not the case. I have my own battles as well, and I don't always see everything in my own life either. So I will go to a trusted person to, have that third party perspective on what's going on with me, or I will go to a healer, or I will go, to someone who can provide some type of guidance or just a sounding board sometimes. So yeah, we all have stuff to work on. Exactly. So no matter what it is you're facing, you're more than capable of coming out on the other side of it. Okay. You're more than capable. You're more capable than most, I would say, at absorbing the lessons, because you're acutely aware of that, because you're looking for the solution amidst the problems. And that's where you have to be focused, is on the solution. Because if you only focus on the problem, you'll never see the solution, because they're different frequencies, right? Yeah, intuitives usually do have the most to work through. You're right, Steph. Absolutely. We have to conquer some major demons in our own lives, and that way we can better be in a position to help others. So none of us are getting out of this clean and scot-free. Like, we're all getting roughed up here. And I've taken it on as kind of my own job to help others through, to say, hey, you know what? There's some roughy tides. That's not what I meant. I don't know what I meant, but I meant like rough tides ahead. I don't know. Some wavy tides, whatever it was that I was saying, some rough waters. Okay. There's rough waters ahead. This is what happened to me. This is how I navigated it. This is what you may be able to expect, and I'll help you wherever I can. Do I see the question? What question, Matt? I'm sorry. Did you ask a question in the comments, or was that, am I totally like, is it going over my head? Oh, I want to understand. I am here to assist taking them out or to observe them destroying everything in their path. This is a serious question. Am I here to assist taking them out or to observe them destroying? So Matt, I would say that observing, and if you are offered an opportunity to take some kind of constructive action, then absolutely do so. We're all here to serve different purposes, right? So if you're here to be an advocate or to bring words to a situation or an energy that you see happening and it's plain for you but others are oblivious to it, then absolutely highlight it and speak on it, you know. But we're not here to save the entire world on our own, right? And we're not here to push this change onto anybody, because the more we push it onto someone that's not open and receptive to it, they're going to resist, right? They're going to push back. So, hi Lisa. So that's not the objective, is to continue to battle and fight it out, and you know, the toughest wins. That's very toxic masculine energy that we're moving away from. We're here to construct, we're here to shed light, we're here to bring awareness with our presence or with our words if we are called to do so. But picking every single battle and fighting against it is going to get us nowhere but a deeper hole dug for ourselves. So I would say finding that perfect balance for you would be paramount. Because yes, you see the injustices or you see the discrepancies and you want to call it out and you want to change it. And that's not a bad thing whatsoever, but we need to remember to shift our actions towards more of the new earth based focus, which is building and constructing these new things, which is bringing light and awareness to them and sharing and supporting and empowering one another, um, without contributing to the energy of the problem itself. And whenever we are putting ourselves into that energy, we're fighting against that energy. We're, you know, trying to be like Paul Revere, like the red coats are coming or whatever. I know that's American history and you're on the other side of that, but I'm sure you've heard about it. So instead of being that bell ringer that, you know, rallying the troops to fight against this, we're not fighting against, because whatever we are resisting is persisting. So that's adding fuel to the fire, right? So eventually everything's going to combust. What we're here to do is to set a new precedent. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. And if not, let me know. I'll try to address it in a different way if you meant something different. um so Goodness, how long have I been on here? Over an hour already, and I'm not even midway through. So we're gonna try to power through it. We also have the Wheel of Fortune right behind that Empress that came out in the reverse. She is taking a step back, not because she is out of her power, not because she is powerless, not because the toxic masculine is winning, but so that he can implode himself, so he can destroy himself, and we can get things moving forward. The divine feminine isn't focused on the toxic masculine and how he is imploding or the destruction that he's causing. Yes, she sees it, but she's not going to offer more energy to fuel that situation. She's going to withdraw her energy, and she is going to actually build what it is that's within her vision, what is within her as the source of creation, as the void where all creation is possible. And she's going to start moving things in the direction that she wants them to go. You're welcome, Matt. I love you. So sometimes just allowing someone to go off on their little tangent and do what they're going to do and make the stink that they're going to make is the best option, because they're not going to get that fuel that they need to continue going and to, rage their fire even brighter. No, they're cut off. So, whenever you're in a conflict with someone and you everything that you throw at the situation, everything that you add to your argument only fuels their opposition more. They're closed minded. They're not open to seeing your perspective or any other perspective other than the one that they're focused on, right? And you just step back and you're like, okay, do what you're going to do. See things the way you're going to see them. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to like go tinker on this little boat, whatever you're going to do, right? You leave them to self implode and you go and you do your own thing. Eventually, that problem's going to fizzle out. Eventually, they're going to get bored and they're going to go, do something else with their energy. So you're no longer faced with the same situation on your plate, right? You've gone your way. They've kind of shouted and talked shit, and you're like, yeah, whatever, keep running your mouth, whatever makes you feel good, and you go off and you're unaffected by it. That ball of conflict is now dissolved because you're not adding to it anymore. So they don't have any more fuel to keep going. So eventually they're going to shut up. Even if they're a persistent little bugger, they're going to eventually shut up. So think of it like that. Okay. So yes, get the feelings out, get the emotions out with that 5 of cups in the reverse, and then get over it, right? Go throw the tantrum. Exactly. Go do whatever you're going to do. I am not going to feed into it. Okay. We're not putting that energy forth because this is going nowhere. There is no resolution in sight because you are completely opposite to what I'm saying, thinking, and doing. That no matter what happens, even if my way starts proving itself to be better, you're still going to be oppositional to me. So go be oppositional somewhere else because I'm not going to oppose you anymore. I'm not feeding that, right? So it may feel like things are temporarily short circuiting, things aren't really moving. We've got Knight of Pentacles also showing up in the reverse. This is slower than molasses energy. This is, regression energy. There might be people or situations around you, whether this is individually or collectively, that seem to be going backwards, that seem to be regressing instead of moving forward. But what do we know about lesson reviews? Every retrograde, we have our own lesson reviews, depending on the theme of that retrograde, the energy of that retrograde, and whatever planet it is retrograding. Or even when there's not a retrograde, we have lesson reviews. We encounter similar experiences with different people, different situations, but it has the energy of a similar experience that we've had before, and where we can apply the wisdom and the knowledge and the tools that we acquired through those situations to produce a better outcome for ourselves in this one, right? And that's where we kind of review over things. We might make similar mistakes that we have in the past, but then we're like, oh, okay, I know what this is. And then we start doing things a little differently, and then we have a more successful outcome. So that's kind of the theme right now of what's been taking place collectively and individually for all of us. I've spoken to enough people to know that that is a theme with individuals right now. So it might feel like things are slower than molasses. Like every action you try to take is just, it fizzles and pops right out and it doesn't get any traction. Which could really bring you to this like depressive energy. But the sun is here. Even though it's showing up in the reverse, it is still present. Okay. So it's our mission to bring it into the upright, to, see a shitty situation for what it is, feel those emotions, see what's shitty about it, and then find the light, find the lesson, find, something that you can take from that and apply it moving forward so you don't have to encounter stuff like that anymore. The world is showing up also in the reverse. So this is full stop. Love you, Steph. Enjoy your session. Well, I mean, you're going to be doing the work. So hopefully your client, I know your client will enjoy it because I've had my readings with you and amazing. If anyone wants a palm reading session, hit up Steph. You might have to schedule it like months ahead of time because he's busy, but Anyway, he does amazing work. So the world card, full stop right now, pause. Things are not moving forward. Things are not getting better. I'm feeling down in the dumps. I'm feeling really shitty. These things, that I thought I dealt with in the past, or maybe I didn't even realize were there, are coming up right now, and it doesn't feel good. It actually feels terrible. But guess what? It's all contributing to your new, more solid foundations. Four of Wands. And this is celebration. This is something big happening. This is marking in a good way, in a positive way, marking this time with celebration, right? So celebrate even the little wins right now, even the little realizations right now. Like, if you've been facing some difficult shit and all of a sudden, say today you have this epiphany about, oh, I can see where, yeah, this was difficult, but I can see where it's taking me. I can see that it's setting me up to shift my mindset into, focusing in this direction, or to building this certain thing, or finding this solution, or just coming back into peace with myself. So celebrate even the small wins right now. You are fucking magic. Okay. So take a step back, take a breather, observe, but you are magic. And in order to be in alignment with creation, with, everything that you can see that you want, you can see it in your mind's eye. You've already got it within. It's in the void of creation right there. Um, you have to have the wisdom to know when you can take the action steps that's going to be the most productive towards your vision, towards your end outcome, right? Hey, Carl. Yes, I love it. Thank you. So, sorry, my voice is starting to go out, guys. I'm going to try to get through this quickly. So you are the magic. You're just blending a bunch of different energies right now together for the achieving the overall outcome. So some of those are going to be really high vibe, really light, really beautiful, really amazing energies that you're adding to your situation. Like, oh, I'm building a house, so I want it to have, great siding, and I want it to have granite countertops, and I want it to be this color and that color, and I want it to have columns, or I want it to have, whatever it is. You're imagining all of this beautiful stuff, but you also have to put in that grit, that hard work. You have to apply things that you've learned before. If you're attempting to build a house, I assume you have some kind of understanding of how to build one. And if you don't, you're going to learn along the way. You might make some mistakes. Shit might crumble down. Shit might go awry, but you're going to overcome it, right? So that's the difficulty in the situation. That would be the shadow aspect. Like, you have this conception of this beautiful idea where you can visualize it and it's so perfect. It's everything that you want, but then you're going to have to put some hard work in. Even if you're not doing the hard work yourself, if you hire a contractor, you're going to have to pay that contractor. You might have, differences on how to achieve the vision that you have. So there's going to be bumps in the road, but all of that is that abrasive energy that's going to help the end outcome to stick. Okay, so collectively, yeah, there's so much abrasiveness right now in the collective. There's so much, ugliness and difficulty and awful people, like the orange one. Um, there's so much of that, but it's also causing the abrasions that are going to help that glue stick harder, or that resin stick harder. You know what I mean? So it's all about observing the light and the dark, and the dark and the light, and how to best enhance each one so that it helps you to achieve the overall outcome. So, use the shadow aspects within, use the shadow experiences that you've had, that you've gained knowledge, wisdom, and tools from, and keep building your mansion. It's going to look different for every single one of you, but it doesn't mean you're not building it, right? Um, so use this in your favor. You're walking through, that valley of the shadow of death, lack of a better term. You're walking through that, but you're not walking through it alone. And you're certainly not walking through it without any tools, any weapons. You have this, you have this, and then you have what it is you need, the tools that you need to get you through it. Okay. Connect, abracadabra. As I speak, I create. Stop speaking negativity into your life or into the collective experience, even. And we can get hung up on that with the collective, okay? Because we know not to speak negatively over ourselves, but sometimes, you know, we're volunteers, we're light workers, star seeds, whatever, shadow workers, whatever you want to term yourself. But and it's hard. It's really difficult. The shit's the ghetto. It sucks. These humans are shitty to us, to each other, you know, vent, absolutely, but don't speak negatively on yourself, your own experience, anyone else's experience, or the collective one, okay? Because as you speak, you create. You are a powerful creator being. And a lot of people forget that, but you have to be aware of that. You have to speak good over yourself, over others, over the collective, over Gaia. Really connect. You know, go out and meditate in nature if you can get out there. If you can, if it's just sitting under a tree or just sticking your toes in the sand or in the soil or walking barefoot in the grass, or you know, even if it's meditating in your house and visualizing yourself out in nature, it's the same thing. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a lived experience or an imagined one. So remember, you are a creator being. So visualize the experience that you want to have and create it that way. Speak it over your life. Speak what you want into existence, because you are a supreme creator being, and you have to remember that. Restoration here. You have to, you know, fill up your own cup. You have to work on yourself, what's not functioning in your life, what's not working to move you forward, to advance you towards your goals in life. It's time to take a step back, to revise some things, to bring awareness to those things and try a different workaround. You know, if something's not working, try again, because you're going to learn what doesn't work so that you can easier see what does work, right? Even if you stumble and you make mistake after mistake after mistake, none of that is a mistake. It's teaching you in a way that you can easier grasp and understand how to, you know, take different actions the next time. Animal energy, channel, be the channel, you know, connect with nature, connect with these spirit animals. I don't know about y'all, but I've had some spirit animals coming up to me, and I had this beautiful healing session with Gina. I don't She's around. You guys have seen her. But yeah, Gina Voss on Facebook. She is a wonderful healer. She does sleep Reiki, which is she'll do the session on you while you're asleep. And she's very, very thorough, very wonderful experience. I didn't expect for her to do a reading for me too. I just thought I was getting the Reiki. But after my session, she sent me, like, she pulled some cards for me, and she picked up on different things intuitively. And I've had the swan and the wolf coming to me like incessantly lately. Like every time I turn around, there's a swan or a wolf. Like it's been really amazing. So if you have spirit animals getting your attention right now, research the symbolism of those animals, or if you have like a deck that you can pull those animals and see what those cards say for that specific animal. Connect with them on that level if you have animals trying to connect with you right now, and see what it is you can learn, absorb, or what they're trying to gift you, whether that's knowledge or tools or both. So really focus on connecting right now to your inner self, and to, if you, like I said, if you have any spirit animals or totems coming around you right now, to help with your restoration, to help to build you back up where you've been torn down in certain ways over the last several weeks, where you've been broken open, because that's where you can, you know, that gives room for the gold to pour in, you know, that healing light to pour in. So use it as a time of restoration, of regeneration, and of constructing your own peaceful space, either within or in your external experience. If you feel drawn to make yourself like a meditative corner or a room or whatever. The white cranes have been around. I love that, Suzanne. um so if you're called to make yourself a sacred space, do that. If you're called to kind of dust and clear out your sacred space and add or remove some pieces, or change things around, then do it. Spring cleaning is upon us, guys. In the northern hemisphere, we're moving into spring. So with it comes renewal energies, right? Restorative energies. So harness this and use it to your advantage right now. Prosperity lies ahead with a new moon in Taurus. We got that Taurian energy, brand new, fresh energy. And Taurus is the sign of luxury, of having all of the things that not only that you need, but that you desire to have. So this is bringing in that abundant energy. Communication is key with new moon in Gemini. Right behind that, two new moons right in the row on the bottom of the deck energy. So I love Gemini. Gemini gets a bad rep, but I find Geminis to be, even though they can be kind of that bipolar energy, like one way this time and another way the next minute, they really have the ability to see multiple sides of any scenario and to really experience multiple sides of emotion with any given scenario or situation. They are, by sorry, my voice, just in their existence, they're multifaceted right out the gate, right? They can see and perceive and experience multiple aspects at the same time. So for that, they are amazing. And I love Geminis. I just love them. But communication is key, because a low frequency expression of Gemini would be kind of shutting down and playing both sides, and that can be a thing too, which is probably why they get kind of a bad rep. But they are very, very skilled at being able to put themselves in different situations or different perspectives. So embrace the faceted nature that you embody, because just because you're not Gemini, or you might not have any Gemini placements, doesn't mean that you're not a multifaceted being, because you very much are. You are a starseed. You are a volunteer from other realms to be here now. You're there, you're here, you're all of it at the same time. So embrace the multifaceted energy of you and apply it in a way that's going to produce a positive outcome for yourself and probably others as well, because whenever you win, everyone else wins, because you spread that shit, you sprinkle that shit like magic stardust. Okay, so prosperity lies ahead. You've got this new moon energy. This is that blank canvas to where you can create whatever it is that you want moving forward. Just remember, you are good enough. With a full moon in Virgo, this is culmination. This is the totality of you, and everything about you is amazing and wonderful, and you are good enough. You have overcome so much. You have experienced so much. You have so much to give. You have so much to share. So share it. So, be that big, bright, beaming sphere in the sky that lights the path for another. Your hard work is paying off. Another new moon, and this is in Capricorn. This is, you have, you are good enough. You have all the stuff. You have the green light with that prosperity lies ahead with the new moon in Taurus. You have the new moon in Gemini. You have the communication skills. You have the skills to make it happen. Okay, you might just have to put in some work, and you've put in so much work already that that's nothing new, right? That's not a hindrance at all. You got this. You've been working hard. So what's a little bit more? Cocoon stage, butterfly suit, baby. It's time to bust free. It's time to stretch out those wings, dry them off, and show them babies off, because you are so divinely beautiful just as you are. So everything, your experiences, your own energy, the knowledge that you bring to the table, let it all shine. We have another tree here too. The tree remembers. So get back to your roots, baby, because you have all of that information stored in your roots, in your DNA, in that beautiful double helix that you embody that looks like no one else's. Okay. Tap into that information, tap into your roots. And I don't mean your human ones, although, yes, tap into your roots, your ancestors, they're all here to help you too. But I'm talking about a more expansive energy, the roots of where you truly come from, which is the source of all creation. And you are a fragment of that source. So you carry that with you always, in all ways. All right. So get back to your roots, baby. Get back to the roots of your soul existence. Be gentle on yourself and others right now. Okay. Try not to fight against so much. Try to flow with it. And what does water do whenever there's an obstruction in her path? Think of a canyon. Like where I come from in California, Southern California, there are these ginormous, they're like one huge boulder that are the size of city buildings laid down, right? Like you can go through the canyon and there's boulder, it's all one big boulder. It's all one being. It's absolutely amazing to see. But there's a highway that goes between like these crevices of this massive boulder that just spans miles and miles and miles. And there's the river that also goes along the highway, and the river has carved out this rock, right? She's carved out past, and it's actually a vacation destination for a lot of people. They're natural rock slides, so you can travel the river just sliding down rocks the whole way, and it's really beautiful. So the water carves out her own path. If there's an obstruction, she's going to find the path of least resistance, and over time, going that same path, it's going to carve out even the most densest of rock, right? So be gentle, go with the flow. Don't try to push against the obstruction to dislodge it. Instead, carve out your own path, baby, because you're a trailblazer. That's what you're meant to do. You just have to find your niche, okay? We have the reach card, another one with trees. Stay deeply connected to your roots, but stretch up to the sky, baby. Stretch up to the sky. Hi, Katie. Oh, they go forward next week. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope your visit was fun. I hope you had a really pleasant visit. We love you. I've been talking forever and ever, girl. I'm almost done, but I am not done yet. So stay grounded, stay rooted in your soul's true frequency, your soul's true roots, but reach for the sky, baby. Anchor that shit. Absorb all of that beautiful light energy, all those light codes, and feed your roots with this newfound light, knowledge, and freedom. Because as you stretch to the sky, your branches are free and you can wave in the wind, you can reach anything, So reach for that light, reach for that breath of fresh air, baby. We got butterflies, we've got, you know, you're leaving the cocoon stage, you're leaving the butterfly soup, and you're expanding. The breath is sacred, right? Use your breath, speak good things over yourself and others, speak over the collective energy. Be like the air, because the air doesn't resist anything either. The air is its own entity, and the air can sweep across. And if there's any kind of obstruction, it just blows right through it, right? Just like the water, they carve out their own path. Water is easier to see doing the same, but air does the same exact thing. Currents. Don't fight the current or it'll drag you under, right? If there's something that is causing some resistance for you, or if there's something that is pulling you towards, something that may be scary. When we're pulled towards the unknown, we kind of freak out because we're human, right? The ego will do that. But when you fight against the current, it can drag you down. When you fight against whatever you're resisting is going to persist. So carve out your own path, flow with the current until it gets you to a place where you can go off on your own, right? Until you can exit that current. It might be a high speed current that takes you further and faster than you ever dreamed in the direction of your goal. But at first, it's going to be scary. It's not going to look like it, right? Sometimes we can't see the forest through the trees. So we can't see what lies ahead. We can only anticipate it. And if we don't know, if it's the unknown, we're always going to do worst case scenario. What could go wrong? What could hurt me? What could unalive me on this path? Like, we're always going to go through those kind of doom scenarios, right? Because that better prepares us in our human minds for what is to come. Because anything that's not that bad as the things that we can dream up for ourselves, is going to be okay. It's going to be much better than the doom and gloom, right? So remember that when you think those thoughts, you're channeling those thoughts, right? Those thoughts are really not us. We channel information. We're all channels. We channel thoughts. We pick up frequencies. We start thinking along the lines of those frequencies, which makes it easy for those of us who are aware to know when there is like an external source trying to influence our actions, right? So when we are channeling that kind of thought, we're channeling that into creation as well. Okay. Even if it's not exactly the scenario we've thought through our mind, we've become the channel to anchor that energy through us into our own life experience and maybe even impact many others with that. So be mindful of the energies that you're channeling, the thoughts that you are thinking, and the energy that you're projecting into your own experience. And just know that, yes, there's going to be darker shit that comes up. You're going to have that kind of thing happen. And it doesn't mean that you have an entity attachment. So don't go freaking out and none of that. Don't give your sovereignty away. Just know, hey, you know, I have this external influence that I'm picking up on, and that's not me, and that's not what I want to bring in my life. So I'm just going to go ahead and cleanse that, cut that cord if needed, from my field, and put that healing in there, seal it back up, and keep moving forward towards the creation that I want to bring to life. And one more thing I'll say on that is Gina did also, in my session with her, picked up on like a false guide that was trying to step in, which I had been aware of for a few days, actually more like a couple of weeks, that like I would send away, I would cleanse, and but they kept persistent, came from one of the penis creatures that was persistent and all of that. So she did bring my awareness to that. She also helped to remove that from trying to imbue itself on my experience and on my thoughts as well. But being aware of those energies, you can pinpoint it, you know what it is, and you can take care of it before it can get a foothold. So none of us are completely not susceptible to things like that. But whenever you know yourself, whenever you really get to the root of who you are as a soul being, then you can easily see any kind of imposter that's trying to come your way, even if they're persistent AF. um, so yeah. Yes, they are just thoughts. Exactly. And that's where thought forms come from. You entertain them, you start to buy into it, you're going to get a return on that experience. So just be mindful of what you're channeling through your vessel with thoughts, with all of these things, and also what you're speaking, what you're channeling through your sacred breath with the spoken word. You guys are all doing so amazing. And I know that challenges come up, but I know that I have seen all of you guys individually. I've had the pleasure of being able to engage with you guys on that level and see how much you have overcome, how many experiences that you've navigated and you've come through on the other side, more powerful and more wise than ever before. And just to see what you guys are doing with that in your own lives and also to help impact others positively is just an absolute honor for me. And I wanted to share that with you, that I see everyone and what you're doing on an individual level, and I think it's the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. So keep creating, keep tapping into your own source of creation and anchoring that beautiful energy to this plane, because it is astounding and it is doing way more for this plane than you can even realize. But just being able to witness it myself, and how I see the impact that it has on others around you, and also the impact on me from observing this all taking place right before my very eyes. It's chef's kiss. Like, I could have never asked for anything better whenever I first got into doing the podcasts and everything. So it's really beautiful to watch you guys grow and see you guys just take this wisdom and this guidance and this knowledge, that whether it's me channeling it or not, that you absorb it and you just run with it, and you just make the world a better place just by existing. I think it's the most beautiful thing ever. So thank all of you for what you contribute, for just existing, for doing what you guys do, and having the perspectives that you guys have. It's just I love it so very much. So it's been my pleasure to walk with you guys, and there's many more amazing things to come. I do have something in the works, like I said, that will kind of change a little bit of what we, instead of doing weekly every Sunday doing a reading and that's it, we're going to have a bit more substance, a bit more topic coming in with also some help. So I will be making announcements in the next week or 2 weeks to come. Thank you, Susan. I love you. Thank you, Holly. I love you. And you, Katie, I love you. So yeah, get excited. Spring is springing and we're going to branch out again. I did have to kind of withdraw and work on like myself and holding things down myself and home and with work and all the stuff. But you guys have been so supportive and so patient with me throughout this process, and things are not done yet. I've just been regrouping and working towards more ideas and what else I want to build on. So yeah, as a community, we're going to be flourishing even more. So I will let you guys know when I make those announcements. Obviously, you'll be the first to see them. But yeah, we've got great things in store. So thank you. I love you, Katie. I love you guys all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Susan. You guys are amazing. And I will definitely be seeing you guys next week. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Yes, Carl, divine creative individuals. Absolutely. All right. So I will see you guys next week, same time, same place. Love you so much. And I'll see you soon. Mwah. Take care, guys. Have a beautiful